This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello, welcome to week 15 of the Primetime Blitz, presented by Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host, Chris B. Bacon. How you doing, bud? You might be on mute there, Chris. All right. He must be frozen. Kevin, how you doing today, bud?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. A little sore, ankles hurting, but, it's another good week for football.
Yeah, it's always a good week. Last week there were some shockers. Big one here in Minnesota. Kind of a big one there in Lambeau Field. Looked like it was a good game until the end. I think Caleb Williams did the right thing, but I think he could have pump faked it to Swift in the middle there. I think the defensive back would have, or linebacker, I forgot who intercepted the pass, but I think he probably could have bid on the pump fake, and then they could have got that touchdown. What do you think of that game?
Well, at the very start of the game, the very first play on snap for the Bears, Caleb Williams overthrew a wide open DJ Moore right down the middle of the field. Would have been easy, wide open touchdown. He had one defender to beat, and if you know DJ Moore, it takes several people to tackle that man. So overthrew him by like 15 yards, and I'm just like, how do you miss a wide open throw like that? But yeah, I believe that they could have either did a dump off to DeAndre Swift, got some more yards, because I think he still had a timeout to use. Just get those extra yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to score on the next play because you'd only have like 2 seconds, but instead don't throw a chance ball. You could have maybe drew up a play or something, but yeah, it's a heartbreaker. I mean, it's not the most important game for us yet. They get Denver this week, so that's not an easy game. But then they get Chicago the week after. So, and that's going to be in Soldier Field, and I promise you, the Bears are not going to go out without a fight in that game.
So, Kevin, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to play the what if. If they scored, do you go for two, or do you go for the win, or you go for the tie?
You got to go for the tie. You don't risk it. You take it to overtime. You hope you win the flip. That's the best thing I could think of. Your defense held you in that game the whole entire second half. Trust your defense. Yes, your offense was hit or miss. But I think what you should have done is, you kick the field goal. As much as that hurts me to say, because I don't trust a field goal kicker in Chicago. But I think you have to go for the field goal there, and then go to overtime and just hope for the best.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that would have been a big talker if they would have scored, went for two, lost it, but then kicked the field goal and went into overtime, then lost it. I think there's been a talker.
But it is Ben Johnson, so I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have went for two.
Oh, he probably would have went for two.
Yeah.
Chris, your Cowboys took on the Lions on Thursday Night Football. What was your thoughts on the game?
Hard-fought game, I thought. At least for the majority of it, you kind of caught up towards the last little bit of it. But A loss is a loss. You got to be glad Philadelphia is kind of going downhill. You have to take care of business by winning virtually all of your games. Philadelphia has to lose virtually all of their games. And just basically seeing who's going to make the playoffs, who's going to win a division, basically, to make the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah. Colts took an L, got some injuries. They got a new quarterback signing on the practice squad. We're trying to figure out if it was confirmed or not that he signed or got promoted up. I'm guessing we'll see that decision probably tomorrow or Saturday, maybe game time decision. Philip Rivers is back in the fold, which somebody also put in our chat, reset the Hall of Fame count because they got to be retired for 5 years. They bring them back.
Maybe.
Reset that.
So,
yeah.
So here's how it goes with that. If he's still in the practice squad, he's still eligible for the Hall of Fame. If he gets moved up to the main roster, the clock resets.
Gotcha. Okay. I think one of the surprising games was the Minnesota game. I did not expect them to win. I think, me and Kevin both had the Commanders as our lock. Didn't expect a shutout. Didn't expect them to look decent against a weak team. Now the question for me to them is, what can you do moving forward the next 4 games? You got Dallas coming up. Play consistent. That's one thing I want them. I want consistency. They don't have to win, but I don't want them to go back to where the quarterback ratings, 34 or whatever. I don't want to see the turnovers. I want to see them just play consistent. I'm not even looking for W's. I just looking for consistency. I was on the other show the other night with Bubba Sparks and Coach Cody, and I gave the game itself, I'll give like a B-2, but I'm going to write it down as incomplete because I want to see what they do these next 4 games. Because if they come out and lay eggs and, they go back to turn over the ball and look like they could get beat by a Pee-wee team, that game against the Commanders means nothing. You got to go to the drawing board this draft and, but if they play consistent, I think it was a good showing. So,
it is the Commanders though.
It is the Commanders, but the Commanders are pretty good last year. They are fighting injuries, which we can't control. So you got to beat the teams that are ahead of you. Now, what are they going to do against Dallas? That's going to be step 1 in this. So with that being said, Chris, any type of history lesson today?
Yeah. So both Minnesota and Dallas are squaring off, and I could say that both teams had their fair share of different things going on. Both entered the league pretty much at the same time, 1960, but they've bounced back and forth between trades and games and Thanksgiving and all that. So I know it's not a divisional game, but it's pretty much, I guess, a rivalry game. Somewhat.
Gotcha. All right, Kevin, you kind of teased us backstage a little bit because Tim's not here. And you said he would be kind of intrigued about your one tough question. So what is your one tough question?
Well, now knowing that I didn't know he wasn't the starter, my question was, will Rivers help the Colts get back on track?
That's still a good question. That is tough because Rivers is good, hasn't played in a while. I would say no. They'll probably play 500 ball. He's probably going to get some wins. Who they got this week?
I think they got is it the Jags?
I thought it was the Jets.
No. They got Seattle. So that's going to be a tough game.
That's right.
I gotta say no. I don't think they lose. Draft purposes, I don't think they would lose any gain. I think they'd be right where they're at. Chris, what do you think?
I think he could probably help in a way, even if he's not on the bench or not on the field.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
a veteran name out.
I don't know if it's me or Chris is having internet issues.
Since 2020.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So with that being
Can you hear me?
said, yeah, we can hear you. You're kind of breaking in and out. I don't know if it's
You
my
haven't
internet.
played but you haven't played in 2020. I don't know what you have, and so I don't think so.
Okay. Kevin, what do you think? You brought it up.
Personally, I think he's got the roster around him. He's got a tight end. He's got a running back that are both top 5 in the league right now. He's got receiving core. He's got a decent offensive line. I think, if he can keep them in the game, I think they have a chance. I don't think it's going to start this week against Seattle. If he does play, it's his first game back in how many years. I think he's going to get some rust off. I think if anything happens, it won't be till next week.
Yeah.
But I honestly think he's got the talent there to be somewhat successful. So I think he could. I think he could get them back on track, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to see what Tim says. Hopefully he's back next week. Or definitely tomorrow for a C2C rank. I might ask him behind stage to see what he says. But all right, so going into our predictions for week 15.
How are the standings looking?
The standings, I'm just going to get to that. So ESPN last week was 8-6. They missed their lock, which would have been I thought I marked it down. I guess I did it. But they missed it. I can't remember who it was. I'm looking. But anyways, they're 8-6. Their total is 134, 57, of course, the one tie and 11 locks. Kevin, you had the best week, 10-4. You did not hit your lock, but you jumped up to second, 129, 62, 1 and 9 locks. I'm at second. I had the worst week at I had the second worst week. 7-7, missed my lock. I'm at 120, 122, 69, 1 and 8. We got Chris, one game ahead of Tim. He had the worst week though at 6-8.
Ooh.
But he hit his lock, so he's at 115, 76, 1 and 8. Tim is at was at 9-5, hit his lock. He's at 114, 77, 1 and 10, and mess around since he's been giving us his picks. 84, 58, 1 and 8, and last week he went 8-6 and hit his lock. So it's getting down to that time where a lot of games are going to be pretty much easy to pick. It's going to be kind of like, all right, could this be an upset? Could this be a switch? But we will start with the Thursday night game tomorrow. Atlanta Falcons 4-9 versus the Bucs at 7-6. Bucs are favored by 4.5. Myself and Tim both picked the Bucs. Chris, who do you have?
Who?
The Thursday night game. You, Chris.
All right. I'm going Tampa Bay in this one.
All right. Kevin, who are you going with?
I'm gonna go the Bucs as well.
All right. We start off the Sunday games with a pretty good matchup there. We got the Bills 9-4 versus the Patriots 11-2. Patriots are favored by 1.5. Chris, who do you have in that game?
I thought I said Cleveland?
No, the Bills versus the Patriots.
I have Buffalo winning.
All right. Kevin?
I have the Patriots winning.
All right. Tim Hendricks has picked the Bills. I have picked the Patriots, so we split on that one. The next game, we got the Ravens 6-7, 2.5-point favorites over the Bengals at 4-9. Kevin, who do you have?
You know what? I'm taking the upset, which I don't really know if it's an upset anymore because the Bengals are looking a lot better.
All right. Tim is taking the Ravens. I am taking the Bengals. Chris, who are you taking?
Cincinnati's only looking better because they have Burrow back, and I think he's somewhat undefeated or up to that point last week when he was the starter. But I'm picking Baltimore in this one.
A lot of splits so far.
Yep. All right, we got this one. I'll be surprised if it's a split, but we do have Chris picking. So we got the Jets at 3-10 versus the Jaguars 9-4. The Jags are a 13.5-point favorite. This is not ESPN's lock because they've already used them. Myself and Tim are going with the Jags. Chris, who do you have?
You want drama? I got drama. I got Jacksonville.
Kevin?
Yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville as well.
It's a game they should win. Will they? I don't know.
Yeah, they should win. This game kind of confuses me, but I think it's because of the media thinking how good KC is. Chargers at 9-4. I know Herbert is questionable, dealing with the injury. They're versus KC at 9-7. KC is favored by 4.5. Chris, who are you taking?
I think KC is questionable to make the playoffs if you want to go off of that. They need this win. Chargers, I think, feel like they need this win to continue their playoff hopes. They're getting there, but they need this win. I'm going to go with Kansas City.
Kevin?
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
All right. Tim took the Chargers. I took Kansas City, so another split game there. Next game, the Cardinals 3-10 versus the Texans 8-9. This is ESPN's lock at 9.5. Kevin, who do you have?
Well, I was telling my friend about this earlier because you guys are gonna make a face when I tell you the team. I'm taking the Cardinals.
Wow, really? Dude, next year we might have to do like an upset lock, or make some points for an upset. Myself and Tim are taking the Texans on this one. Chris, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm gonna join you guys in that pick, and I'm going Houston as well. Arizona, they pretty much sat Kyler Murray for the rest of the year. They're just grasping at straws.
Yep.
They're going to grasp this W this week. Watch, Chris.
All right. We got the Browns at 3-10 versus the Bears at 9-4. Bears are favored by 7.5. I know, Kevin, I probably don't have to ask, but who are you taking?
This game actually scares me if Shador plays like he did last week. 3 touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. The Bears are cooked because that Browns defense is still pretty good. They have a guy named Myles Garrett that's just as scary as, Micah Parsons. So, I really don't think they're going to win by 7.5. I think it's going to be a field goal, to be honest with you. But I'm going Chicago.
All right. Tim's taking the Browns. I'm not taking the Browns. I'm taking the Bears as my lock. Chris, who are you taking?
Yeah, it's not my lock, but I'm not going with Cleveland either. I'm going with the Bears.
That's honestly going to be a good game. I think that's going to be a good one to watch.
I'll tell you right now, I'll be shaking my boots the entire game.
All right, we got the Commanders at 3-10. I think Daniels is still nursing that injury he had here in Minnesota. Versus the Giants at 2-11. Giants are favored probably for the first time this year at 2.5. Myself and Tim are taking the Giants. Tim is making it his lock. Chris, who are you taking?
Yeah, as far as like NFC East purposes go, this game means nothing. I'm going to go as my lock just for fun and go Washington.
Going the Commanders in a lock. All right, who do you got?
Yeah, when Jackson Dart plays, the Giants, they're not terrible.
No,
And especially if they were healthy, the Giants, I think this might be a wild statement, but if they were healthy, I think they have a chance at playoffs. The whole team was healthy. If you had Neighbors and Scadaboo with, Jackson Dart playing all year. So I'm going the Giants.
All right. I just like how Chris said for the division, this means nothing. I thought that was.
It doesn't. They're both out.
Well, yeah, they're both out. Yeah, you're right. It's more of a draft seeding game.
Yeah.
The Raiders at 2-11 versus the Eagles at 8-5. Eagles are favored by 11.5. Chris, who do you have in this game?
Raiders are already out. Philadelphia needs to lose this game, but will they? I don't know. I'm going to go with Philly.
All right, Kevin?
I think, the Eagles could play backups and probably still win this game. Like I told you, the Raiders are terrible. I think they're the worst team in the NFL. The only reason they're even good is because of their defense.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the Eagles, and I'm making it my lock.
All right. So the last 4 games, all the locks have been covered. We got the Colts at 8-5 versus Seattle at 10-3. Due to the quarterback injury, Seattle is favored by 14.5. Kevin, who do you have?
I am taking the Seahawks.
All right. Tim and myself are both taking the Seattle Seahawks. If I didn't say it last time, we both took Eagles. Chris, who do you have?
Yeah, I got Seattle in this one, but it's interesting to see what the Colts are going to do at quarterback. As far as like playoff matchups and all that, this is going to be interesting. See how it goes, and I'm kind of rooting for whatever happens, I guess.
All right. A lot of people are dabbing this one as a possible Super Bowl matchup. Packers 9-3-1, 2.5-point favorites going into Denver, who are 11-2. Tim's taking the Packers. I'm taking Denver. Chris, who are you taking?
I'm taking Denver.
All right. Kevin, do I have to ask?
I really, 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 really need the Broncos to beat the Packers because then that makes the Week 16 game between the Bears and the Packers 20 times better.
Yep.
So I'm taking the Broncos for the dub.
All right. We got the Titans at 2-11 versus the 49ers at 9-4. Niners are 12.5-point favorites. Chris, who do you have?
Let's go with San Francisco to win.
I'm just looking at something here because I think. I was right. All right. You're going San Fran. Kevin, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going the 49ers as well.
Yep, that's where I'm going, and so is Tim. The Panthers at 7-6, 2.5-point favorites over the New Orleans Saints at 3-10. Myself is going the Saints. Tim is going the Panthers. Kevin, who do you have?
Well, I'm going to be on Tim's side here, and I'm going to go the Panthers.
I know you've been high on them, and they've looked decent. Chris, who do you have?
I'm gonna go with New Orleans. We like upsets, I guess. So let's go
All
New
right.
Orleans.
Gotcha. All right, so we got the Lions at 8-4 or 8-5. I'm sorry, versus the Rams 10-3. Rams are favored by 5.5. Chris, who do you have?
I wish the Lions were 8-4, but you know, uh, you said Detroit and
The
LA.
Rams. Yep.
For Detroit, if they win this, or not Rams, if they win this, they're in the playoffs. That's what they got going for them.
Yep.
But I'm going with Detroit.
All right, Kevin, who do you have?
I need Detroit not to make the playoffs, so I'm going the Rams.
Yep. All right, we got the Sunday night game, which I'm surprised wasn't flexed out. The Vikings at 5-8 versus Dallas 6-1. Dallas is favored by 5.5. Kevin, who do you have?
I'm sorry, Brandon, but I think the
Don't be
Cowboys
sorry.
have been one of the hotter teams right now, so I'm going to the Cowboys.
All right. Well, don't be sorry because Tim and myself both took the Cowboys. Like I said, I'm hoping the Vikings play consistent. Chris, who do you have?
Yeah, I'm taking the home team, Cowboys. That's pretty much why they haven't been, this game hasn't been flexed is because of Dallas and the star power.
Yeah, but I think they're got some better matchups earlier in the day, which they could have flexed. But
They
hey,
should have put the Broncos Green Bay.
Broncos Green Bay was one of them. The Bills
Lions,
Patriots,
Rams.
yeah, Lions Rams, yeah. But hey, what it is, we know what McCarthy could do on Sunday night games, Monday night games. So, Dolphins on the Monday night game, 6-7 versus Pittsburgh, 7-6. Pittsburgh's favored by 3. Tim's got the Dolphins. I got Pittsburgh. Chris, who do you have?
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh, but I'm impressed of what Miami's been doing the last few
Yeah.
weeks. They've come back and really shaken up the playoffs a little bit.
Gotcha. Kevin, who do you have?
I think it's because they finally starting to realize, oh, hey, we got a top 5 running back. Let's use them.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Steelers. I think they're going to want to keep that division. They're going to want to keep the division lead. So I don't think they're ready to let go of that yet. So I'm going the Steelers.
All right. So with that being said, as we get ready for our fantasy playoffs, I do have a tough question here, or a debate question. And I'm going to use the local tie because I've been hearing a lot of back and forth debate on it. Was Ward's hit on Ertz a low blow, aggressive hit? I'm trying to think of the words that everybody's using. Should he have been fined? Kevin, what do you think?
I actually didn't even see the hit, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So I couldn't say much, but if it was a low blow.
So I'll see if I can find you the clip. But what happened is Ward was going in for the tackle. His down crouch. Ertz had to jump. So got him in the knee. Of course, tore his ACL, took him out. If Ertz wouldn't have jumped, that would have been at his waist, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. Dirty hit is what I'm thinking of. So if I can find the clip, I'll send it to you. But, Chris, what did you think?
I'm kind of with Kevin. I didn't really see it, but I've seen hits similar to that. And, in real time, it kind of looks like it's a bad hit, a really dirty hit, stuff we've seen and all that. Only, I guess you could say, only the people that are actually there seeing it in the moment live, not on the screen, but physically there, they would know more about that. But I guess perception is reality. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching, and yeah, it was a bad hit. I mean, I knew right away he was out. I mean, you just saw his knee go the opposite way. I don't think it called for a fine. I don't think it was a dirty hit. The guy jumped. But the one thing I do gotta say, if you guys haven't saw the reports, Ward, who put the hit on him, went to the locker room, changed, got out of there before they did their celebration and their post game stuff, and went right to the hospital to make sure he was okay.
Good.
So good sportsman. I mean, there's still some
When
good
you said,
sports out there. I
the
mean,
way you said that at first, I'm like, well, that's kind of upsetting that he just just up and left.
no, he said it was
But
bothering him, and he wanted to go make sure it was okay.
good,
So,
good.
all right. So our fantasy playoffs start. Chris P. Bacon with the bye at 12-2. Blitz Happy gets the second bye at 10-4. So in the winners bracket, we got Neighbors Old Neighbors at 4 and seeded fourth against Death Within as the number 5 seed. We got the Cannon Falls Bombers at 10-4, the number 3 seed versus the Italian Turtles, Tim Hendricks' team. In the consolation bracket ladder, the number 7 seed, 5th Down and Drunk versus Justin Scary team. That's the 7-8 matchup. The 9 and 10 matchup is B Squad Bombers versus Primetime Blitz. And then the 11-12 is Mess Around and Find Out versus Dragon Vipers team. That's 11 and 12. So that being said, guys, Chris, you're on a bye. So how you gonna get your team prepared for your first matchup?
I was gonna say I got time to plot and scheme. Just kidding.
You sure do.
Who's he go against? If he wins, who's he get?
He will get. Let's see here. I think he would get the 4-5 matchup.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, with that being said, Kevin, you are favored by about 7 points, just a little bit under that against Death from Within. Going on a 2-game winning streak. The Bombers versus Tim Hendricks' team, the Turtles, 7-point favorite. Tim Fiedler's team, 5th and Drunk, is about a 12-point favorite right now. And Mess Around and Find Out is favored by about 22 against Vipers team, and Primetime Blitz and B Squad Bombers. I am currently favored by almost 30 points there. So we'll see how those goes. But overall, guys, Kevin, your first time in our fantasy league. What you think?
You know what? Like I said when I was talking about it, I think I made my trades right at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got the running backs I needed. I got enough depth at positions, so when I had the buys, I didn't have to go and pick up waiver wires, and I only really needed to do that with defense and kickers. So I think I really, for someone who actually didn't do the draft, I felt pretty good with my team overall. But the most interesting thing is I went into the free agency and I picked up a player. Well, that player's name was Drake London.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Philip Rivers.
No, so I don't know who decided to let go of Drake London, but yeah, I picked him up, so he's now on my team.
There you go.
Just for more depth. I was very surprised to see that, actually. So I don't know if someone accidentally did that or what happened, but yeah, like I said, I think I just, I made trades at the right time. I had, I did get hit with a bunch of injuries in the beginning of the season, like losing Hampton. That hurt. And I think, trading away and then stealing Rico Dowdle in the free agency was huge. So I think I made my moves at the right time, and that's what helped me.
Yeah, I think you made a lot of good moves. Chris,
Yeah.
you're the buy. I mean, what are you going to do?
I feel like each year I do this, the fantasy football league, and I feel like I'm getting better. I feel like I'm getting things situated. I think that this year spreading out the bye weeks kind of helped a little bit.
Mhm.
I didn't have too many injuries, and if there were injuries, they're mainly questionable.
Yeah,
I think I had 2 players on injured reserve this year, not too many. So I think I feel like I'm getting better.
that's good. I mean, for me, it was a mistake on my part because I um, missed put the decimal point for the running game, and that's kind of where I drafted this year was have a strong running game and then kind of fill in the gaps, and so that backfired on me. That's on me to watch that as a league owner, but it happens. But you just move on, to what you can do, and you try to make moves to counteract that, and I think again I was hit with some injuries where I had to make some last minute adjustments. When you lose to a team that only plays half their players, it's kind of a shot in the foot. Yeah. So, but with that being said, guys, anything else we want to talk about? I mean, do we want to talk?
So
Last week games, how the Shockers. I mean, Kevin? I'll let you open the floor. What do you got on your mind?
Yeah, we kind of touched on it in the beginning, with the Bears Packers. I mean, Bears should have easily won that game.
I
You
would
know,
say easily, but they had their
well,
chance.
we had that interception
Yep.
early in the game, and we got no points off it. It was in scoring range, and we didn't even, we didn't do anything with it. And then, we missed several wide open passes. We made several dumb plays. Like, we didn't capitalize on turnovers at all.
Yep.
And I guess, the other game is, Minnesota just coming out and just blowing out the Commanders. And, I was confident the Vikings were going to lose out almost.
Oh, you
And,
mean you both?
and then, Shador Sanders, like I said at the beginning of the year, I said this. I think the Browns got a steal.
too bad you won't see him next year, though.
Why do you say
Oh, he'll
that?
be the starter next year.
No, Deshaun Watson's back.
Yeah, yeah. I know that's going to be a debate for another time, but I think Sanders is going to be there next year. He's going to be their guy.
Well, yeah, he's
I
gonna be
mean,
there, but he won't be the starter. I don't
Well, we'll
think.
see. We'll see. But yeah, going off what Kevin said, I mean, yeah, the Bears had their shots. Watching the end of the game there, some people are saying he made a bad choice. Yeah, maybe, but I think if he would have either pump faked it to Swift, the DB would have bit on it, or if he would have thrown it to Swift, Swift probably could have got in there. But he threw up the 50-50 ball, and we know what happened. Vikings, yeah, they shocked me. I mean, I didn't expect them to play like they did, coming off of a shutout and then winning by a shutout. I was kind of looking to see when the last time that if it ever was done. Um, Shador Sanders definitely could be a steal of the draft. I mean, dropping down to the 5th round, I think if he keeps playing the way he does, I think he's definitely going to be up there. I know the Saints. I'm looking back here, so I think the Saints won last week, which I think some people had weren't counting on that one. The Titans beat the Browns. So it's getting down there to where mistakes are going to cost these teams some games or cost of games. But Chris, anything you want to throw out there?
So I saw something out there that it's been confirmed that for the first round of this year's draft, the first round clock of turning your pick in will be decreased from 10 minutes to 8 minutes. So that way, I guess it ends a little earlier because I think they said it's been ending like 11,
Yeah.
12 o'clock in the morning in the
Yep.
Eastern time. So it's going to be a little shorter.
Well, Chris, I mean, you do our annual draft coverage with you and Tim. I mean, what do you
Yeah.
think? I mean, what do you think about that?
I think I don't think it's going to change much. I mean, I think in the first round, everybody has their picks that they want.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, it'll probably play a little bit of a factor, but I think going into the first round, I think everybody's got their board set to where they
Yeah.
just play the.
They have
Let's listen to phone calls, but we know who we're taking, and
their
I
10,
saw
15 names.
I saw a post that I could actually see happening. I saw the Titans dropping and trading with the Giants.
yeah.
And I think that's mostly because, mostly going to be quarterbacks up there. But
Man,
I
there's
think
not a sure quarterback though. I mean,
yeah. I mean, well, you got that guy from Indiana. You got that, what is it, Julian Sayin or whatever?
yeah.
There's him as well.
Yeah, I mean the experts are saying it's not a quarterback driven class, so they'll be surprised if a quarterback goes one. And
I
the
think
teams right
every
now
year.
currently drafting in the top 5 don't need a quarterback. I mean, you got the Giants, Washington, Saints maybe, might need a quarterback. Tennessee just drafted one. Raiders might need a quarterback. The Browns. They don't need a quarterback. The Jets, maybe. I mean,
I
so
remember.
I really think right now, I would say there's probably going to be a lot of movement this first round. I think a lot of teams are going to be wheeling and dealing.
I remember one year. I can't remember the draft year. The Falcons were on the clock. I think Cousins was there, and they drafted a quarterback, and we were all puzzled. Why did they did that?
Yeah, that's when they drafted Penix. And, so that was a couple years ago.
So never say never on that.
Yeah, you're right. Never say never, but it'll be interesting. Looking at some scenarios here, looking at the playoffs.
I think Rams, Patriots can clinch.
Yeah, I think the Rams could clinch. I think the Patriots and Denver, I think they both win. They both clinch. I think the Rams could clinch the number 1 seed. I'm just looking at the bubble teams right now because it's what, 8 spots or 7? One team gets a bye?
7.
Okay. So the Colts are still in there. Baltimore, KC, Miami, both 2 games back. Of course, if they lose, that just slims up their chances.
For the Vikings.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I was on the NFC side. You got the Bears are in. You got the Detroit Lions a game back. Carolina 2 games back. You got the Cowboys 3 games back. You got the Vikings at 4 games back. I think somebody said with the Packers winning, that gave the Vikings like a less than 1% chance of making the playoffs, which that's about right.
Yeah.
I'm not holding hope, but the Vikings they lose, they're done, so they got to win out.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that Minnesota, they lose, they're out, but you also have Chicago and Detroit. If either of those teams win, you're out. Doesn't matter if you win or lose.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
that's the bad thing about being on Sunday night.
Yeah,
that's the bad thing about being on Sunday night is because you have to rely on those 2 teams, to lose.
Yeah,
and then hope you win.
Yeah, all the Vikings have to do is just go out and worry about playing football.
Yeah.
So looking here, I know it's a college story, but Michigan Wolverines let their coach go today. Kevin, I don't know how much you follow college football, but what do you think about the move?
I mean, I'm pretty sure Michigan was ranked at the beginning of the season, and because I was looking at something the other day where the top 10 teams where they were ranked, and I think Penn State was ranked like 3 to begin the season, and they ended up being not ranked and having a losing record. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure Michigan was up there ranked as well, and they ended up having a terrible season. So, I mean, you have clearly you have the roster according to the analytics and experts and stuff. So obviously you weren't able to coach the a winning roster is what they're thinking. So either there's busts on the team or it's the coaching, and they're taking a risk on it being the coach.
Yeah, well, it does sound like it was a
inappropriate relationship.
Yeah, it looks like it was. And he's in custody right now, which we're not going to get into until we hear more about it. But
yeah, so it wasn't
a big team like that to lose a coach, and due to that circumstance, it's going to be hard. It'll be interesting to see who goes and replaces him. I know
he caught a charge.
Yeah, he got a suspect in an alleged assault charge. He's in custody right now. So.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it wasn't really about the team. It was more of that.
Yeah. Well, guys, as we wrap up here, anything else we want to snag a hold of, bring up for Week 15? Chris?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week. The path, the push to the playoffs are here, and these are going to be all exciting games, and I'm kind of excited for it.
Kevin?
Yeah, along with Chris there, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. You're about to see who's the true contenders and who's the pretenders. So, like teams that are on the cups there, like the Bears, Lions, these teams, they need the win. They have to, get these wins, show that, okay, you know what, we're serious, we're contenders. Don't count us out. Clearly, like I said, I'm a Bears fan, so me personally, seeing the Packers playing the Broncos is music to my ears. And then the Bears playing the Browns is also music to my ears. So, we're lined up for a great Week 16 matchup against the Packers.
And what's interesting, too, is that Kansas City, I think it was, they're like in the, wild card spot or the divisional spot. And they fell like, I don't know, 5 or 6 spots after they lost.
Yep. These games matter now. I mean, you're there, you're a game out or something. You could drop, 3-4 spots. The teams that are hoping to draft high because of their record, they win. They could drop 3-4 spots. I mean, so it goes both ways. But for that, catch myself tomorrow with Tim Hendricks on C2C Raycom. We're going to do a music theme, mid-90s hip-hop, pop style topics. You'll see myself, Chris, and the rookie Kevin between the ropes as we break down John Cena's final match this weekend. Sorry for last week. I had some internet troubles, but we definitely will give our thoughts to John Cena. We got a good topic there. Also, if you guys follow us, Between the Ropes always has an annual awards ceremony. So that is due to be the 29th, I believe, Chris. I could be wrong on the date. So
around there, yeah.
Definitely got it on our page if you guys want to vote for your favorite matches and stuff like that.
Do we write ours down?
Yeah, you can write it down.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah, okay. We'll each one of us will say who our award goes to, and
I just wanted to see what everybody else, that wrestling fans.
Yeah, because I filled out the sheet on the thing.
Yeah, it kind of got messed up, but I remade one. So
okay, are we doing? Is it going to be like best return, or are we gonna have like
a
best return and stuff?
Throw it in the chat.
Okay. For males and females, or what?
No, I would just probably just best return overall. because there wasn't too many. But with that being said, guys, please check us out all week long. Got a couple new shows popping up here and there. But we'll definitely see you next week for Primetime Blitz. Have a good one.